Blair and I spent a lot of time playing rock and roll. Half my heart exists in country music. I write a lot of country songs. I set out to write this one as a writing exercise. I was thinking maybe I'd write this song and try and sell it to somebody else, and then they'd turn it into a big hit. And then I could just sit back in a hot tub and let the royalties come just rolling in. But then something happened. I started writing this tune, and I started to get quite fond of it, in a way where I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to let somebody else have it. Maybe I'll stick to the original plan when I get tired of it, but that hasn't happened yet. My dad used to have me listen to Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones and Neil Young, and he was quite adamant that he was going to give me a rock and roll education. But then a little more subtle in the background, my mom was like, listen, you got to know about Chris Christopherson. You got to know about Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings and Dolly Parton and Patsy Cline, and Johnny Cash. So that's what this song is about. This song is about a country song about country songs. It's called The Good Stuff. But Daddy had an old pickup truck. On Sundays we'd go driving down the back dirt roads with the radio up. There just ain't no denying. Nothing beats a good old country song. Daddy tapping on the roof while my mama sang along. Those good old tunes from yesterday, don't tell me that they're gone. Play the good stuff. I just want to hear those songs again. Take me back to Lukenbach, Texas. Blue eyes crying in the rain. When it comes to country music, I just can't get enough. So play the good stuff. We were young when we first met, and living in the city, about as in love as anyone can get. You were wild and pretty. We'd go out dancing nearly every night. That honky-tonk band in the corner always got it right. They sang country love songs. We held each other tight, and they played the good stuff. The greatest songs I've ever heard. They played Patsy Cline and I'll Walk the Line, and I still know every word. We still go out dancing. You're still the one I love, 'cause they played the good stuff. They sure did. They played the good stuff. I miss Johnny and June, George Jones and Waylon too. Tell me, where did it all go wrong? Maybe what the world needs now is a good old country song, so play the good stuff. What they got now just ain't the same. I wanna hear all about how mama tried, how he stopped loving her today. Now I've got nothing against the young bucks, I wish them all the luck, but just give me the good stuff. I just wanna hear those songs again. Take me back to Lukenbach, Texas, blue eyes crying in the rain. 'Cause when it comes to country music, I just can't get enough. Play the good stuff. Play the good stuff. Play the good stuff. Thank you. I learned this one for a friend. The friend who introduced me to this song. It set me off on a path that I'm still on. Finding and discovering amazing songwriters. They're all around us. They really are. A lot of them have been here in this series. I understand my good friend Tyler Keeley was here not long ago. He is a fine example of what I'm talking about. But once somebody teaches you about songs, you start really learning how to appreciate them. And my friend Nathan Hunter introduced me to Townes Van Zandt. And then after that, I found Graham Parsons. And then after that, it just kept going, snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And I don't think it'll ever end, and I'm super happy about that. But he opened the door for me to Townes, which is a gateway drug to a lot of really great songwriters. So I want to sing this song in memory of my friend Nathan Hunter. Living on the road, my friend, gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, breath as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but a favorite one it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye, sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit, boys. His horse was fast as polished steel. Wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words, but that's the way it goes. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him go so long, out of kindness, I suppose. Pancho, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Ain't nobody know. And all the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him hang around, out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell, left his living in a cheap motel. Desert's quiet, Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, we're told. And Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but say a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's growing old. And all the federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong, out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong, out of kindness, I suppose. Thank you. The Ballad of Pancho and Lefty. It just dawned on me that if you're showcasing your songs that you've written, like I'm doing here today, it might not be a great idea to play a Fred Eaglesmith song and a Townes Van Zandt song alongside them all. You know? Here's the gold standard in a bunch of old brass parts. I wrote this song about a friend of mine was feeling a little down. She lived down in New York City. And there were some recent events in politics at the time that had her feeling blue, which is, I think, is a lot of the time is what that particular realm of human activity is designed to do. And so I wanted to cheer her up. It's very easy to overlook the fact that there's love and beauty and kindness all around us when we're being bombarded nonstop by bad news, because that's the thing that sells. But I made this song. It's called Promise of Love. And I made a video for it that you can check out. It's on the internet somewhere out there floating around on the World Wide Web. The YouTube, I believe. And it's a cool video. My friend Dave filmed it. It's the middle of a winter's day. We went around the Byward Market and handed out red roses to people. Now, normally there'd be a huge horn solo in this song. I hired some great horn players to play on it. But I think it's important to remember just how incredible everything is all around us most of the time. And don't be distracted by to not be distracted by the negativity and darkness that they're trying to sell us all the time, you know? It's called Promise of Love. It's meant to be a celebration. Well, the weather's getting colder. There's no life on the trees. You say you're feeling older now, and you can't find any way forward. But your little heart keeps beating, as it's always done before. And though the feeling might be fleeting now, you know that you have a promise of love. A promise of love. A promise of love. A promise of love. Yeah, don't worry, honey. You know that you have a promise of love. Down south, they're getting ready to give the keys up to the clown. You're still tall and we stand ready to somehow make it all better. It's a notion that you ponder. It's a feeling in your bone. When you can't take it any longer, just hang on tight to a promise of love. A promise of love. A promise of love. A promise of love. In the end, you know it's true. We'll make it, me and you, with a promise of love. And then the horns go. Of love, yeah, promise of love, a promise of love. You can trust it through and through, let it make you feel brand new, a promise of love. Or keep it close or pass it round, this little secret that we found, a promise of love. Sing it walking down the street, shake your hands and stamp your feet to a promise of love. Little promise of love. A promise of love. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to do one more for you. Big and very sincere thanks to McCaw for having me back, and thanks to the wonderful crew of people who treat us so kindly and make sure that we sound good, and it is really a wonderful group. It's so incredible to be able to play my songs in a room like this and with the support of such a great team who puts the series on. So how about a big round of applause for the McCaw crew. Thank you. I'd like to thank my longtime friend and incredible guitar slinger, pal Blair Hogan, for coming and playing with me this time around. This next song kind of sums up what it is that we're all trying to do. I mean, at least Blair and I. Can't speak for everyone in the room. But it's, every so often I get to a point where I'm like, I'm not sure I should keep doing this. There's a lot of sort of self-doubt and I guess maybe a little imposter syndrome sometimes when you're a musician. It never really goes away. But then when you get on stage with a drum kit and a bunch of great musicians like Blair behind you and people listening, it just feels good again. And it's really hard to let go of. I like to tell this story about how every time I go to close the music app in my computer, Apple computers, you don't close programs, you quit them, which is particularly distressing for musicians when you go to close the music app, because the menu comes down and at the bottom it just says in big bold letters, quit music. Yeah. And then you sit there, paralyzed at your desk. Is today the day? And I'm sure people like Tyler Keeley and everybody who comes through these doors, no matter how old or young or new they are playing music, they'll tell you the same thing. It's not something that goes away. No matter how often your computer tries to get you to contemplate quitting, and you can't let go of it. And this one here is called another overly verbose and unnecessarily long title to a song. I just want to keep playing rock and roll. Thank you so much for helping us do that. We really appreciate it. Thank you for having us today. Yeah, when I was just a young man, before I knew better, they told me I could have a good life, just to go on out and get it. But like a little bit of thunder that you hold in your hand, ain't nothing gonna soothe you quite like a rock and roll band. It can turn you into steel, or it can leave you in the ditch. It can bleed you out all slow like it can be your only fix. But at the end of every single song, yes, at the bottom of the tune, there's a little bit of freedom. You can find a little truth. I don't want to go to school, I don't want to work, never gonna be no boss man's fool to wear a number on my shirt. I don't want to be no stooge, I don't want to grow old, I just want to keep on playing rock and roll. Hey, hey. It almost always starts like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get a guy like Blair to do this. See what I mean? Well, now I'll never be a doctor, I'll never drive a rich man's car. Maybe I'll die here in the stage light or at the dark end of a bar. But I'll live on a little bit forever, with both hands on my soul, 'cause nothing else on earth gets born again the same way as rock and roll. Well, you know when you got it, and when you do, you're gone for good. It's in every single step you take, it's in your bones, it's in your blood. So burn a candle for the king, even as you try to steal his crown. Make them sweat and make them swing, or make them tremble on the ground. I don't want to go to school, I don't want to work, never gonna be no boss man's fool to wear a number on my shirt. I don't want to be no stooge, I don't want to grow old, I just want to keep on playing rock and roll. Hey, hey. Thanks again, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much.